plaintiff, Christina Johnson, met the defendant on an online dating site, and she thought he was the one. However, Christina claims after they moved in together, the defendant became emotionally and physically abusive, and she ended up having him escorted off the property by the police, then filed a restraining order against him. Christina's suing her ex for loans and property damages. Defendant Griffin Hirchko denies that he was physically abusive and claims the only bruises on Christina's body were caused during sex. Griffin claims Christina is extremely vindictive, and she called the police on him multiple times, and he's countersuing for personal property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I met Griffin 2 years ago. We met on a dating site, and he was charismatic and intelligent, and we hit it off really well. I was looking for a Christian man, and he stated that he was a Christian and all this, so I thought that he was the one. So I moved him in Yeah, with me and my family after 2 months.
But y'all didn't have sexual relations?
Of course.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It was the best part, Your Honor.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, but the way you said, of course, like that's a normal part of what you might do. The Bible says no sex before marriage, Christian. And don't look at me like I'm crazy. Go ahead. So you all were sinning.
Correct.
By living together. Go ahead.
I agree.
And
I agree.
having
It was
sex.
fun. So we were getting along well.
We sinned well, Your Honor.
You sin well. Well, is that your opinion?
Yeah.
You'd have to bring me some evidence, testimonial evidence. Some testimonial evidence from some of the ladies to back that up. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, when I met him, he had a British accent, so that was hot, I thought. And then later, I found out he was from Ohio. So about a year ago, me and my family left, and he was supposed to watch the apartment. When I came back, there was people in the apartment that I didn't know. They were in my bed. So I was very upset. I asked him to get everybody out. During that time period, we got in a confrontation. He pushed me down, and the cops were called. I had a bruise, so they wanted me to press felony charges. I didn't.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Against that.
Let her finish.
And then we tried to mend things, and that couple more times, occasions, physical violence occurred, and emotional abuse. He has a big ego, and he's very smart, and he always thinks that he's the smartest guy in the room. So basically on September 11th, the confrontation got more than I was willing to put up with after being emotionally abused physically at times, being called names like Nero, Hitler, Stalin, stuff like that. I just had enough and called the cops. They escorted him off the property, and then I put a restraining order.
All right, you have that restraining order?
Yes, I do.
Sir, let me get some background from you.
Well, what she said was true. We met online. Things were good at first, but unfortunately, she showed her true colors.
How so?
She's a very vindictive woman. So she's the kind of woman that'll kill a mosquito with a nuclear weapon.
Give me some other examples, because I don't think she has that.
Well, for instance, the first major occurrence was she wanted to, with her son, celebrate a tradition, which with my religion, the way I viewed it, it was not acceptable.
You're not a Christian? She said you were a good
I am Christian,
like her.
but there are different flavors of Christianity.
Okay.
But with Halloween, ironically, she wanted to go out with her son.
That's for the devil. You didn't know that? Go ahead.
I did not believe in that tradition, nor did I want to show her son, that was
and what
acceptable. Sadly, I went because I did not want to lose my home. But,
all right, but that's not her being unreasonable or some type of monster that you described.
She's called the cops on me repeatedly times,
She
and
says
she's lied to the authorities.
Physical abuse.
The only bruises on her body were left from sex, sir.
So you keep bragging and doing all this, and yet the woman left you. He thinks a lot of himself and as a lover. Okay, is it all that?
It's good, but it's not all that.
Oh, okay. So you get what would you put it at, 8? 7? I'm just asking, sir. You counting all good, Judge. I just want to get a second opinion. Go ahead. What else you want me to know? You want to give me another example? That's what we were waiting on.
At the end, she's been in court for learning law. So she used her law and her knowledge of law in the most vindictive of ways, but she was legally able to remove me from the premise of the house, and in the process, took all of my belongings.
Okay, that's your counterclaim. She'll get to hers first, and then we'll listen to your counter. How many police reports do you have today? Just the one?
I do have another report.
Okay. What happened with these cases? Was he prosecuted?
No.
Why?
Because I just want my money and I just want to be done, you know.
And this is a real issue because he's saying you illegally evicted him and withheld his property. And that's why it's very relevant to prove that he did something wrong to cause you to do that. I see restraining order as well on you, sir. And he smashed the door twice or damaged the door on 2 different occasions?
2 different doors, yes.
Oh, okay.
The door frame was broken into and it was pried open with a bar.
It's also an allegation, Your Honor.
You have any proof that it was damaged? Pictures?
Pictures, yes. I have
Okay,
pictures.
let's see them. All right, sir. Unless she did this damage herself, I'm looking at damage that was done to the door. And I don't believe she damaged her own door to create a case against you. Now, tell me about the loans you're suing for.
The loans, I loaned him money at 3 different occasions. On November 2016, around that time, I loaned him $1,000. He had bounced a check in his bank account, some money, he was supposed to get some money from his relatives. That didn't come through on right, so I
When was he to repay it?
There wasn't a set date.
Okay. And the next loan?
The next loan was in May 2017. I loaned him $1,200 to repay a gambling debt that he owed.
Okay, next.
Then in August 2017, I loaned him $800 to help him pay off his car and things like that.
Okay, and how much has he paid toward any of this? Nothing?
Nothing.
When was the last time you discussed it with him?
The last time was September 7th.
He said he denies, he agrees that he owes.
She brought it up a lot September 11th. That was the night that I left the house.
Brought what up a lot?
Money that she said that I
got it. All right, and what do you say to this, sir? These loans and property damage?
We never discussed it as being a loan. It was just money that was given, and I never signed any type of promissory
You have any proof that it was a loan? He sounds like he acknowledged receiving the money.
I have several text messages.
Let's see them.
Starting with the most recent, going backward to the...
Sir, what do you say to the text messages? You recall sending any text messages acknowledging it was a loan or that you would repay her?
I don't recall.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, I don't know where you get that notion that he thinks he's smarter than anybody. He's not smart at all today. He's not smart at all. I'm looking right at the text messages. 11 case against is probably going to pay my debt in full. Want a steak before I sign the majority of the check over to you. You don't remember any of those, sir?
I don't recall.
Okay. All right, so $4,300 is your judgment. I believe they were loans. You described and you showed me the property damage. Your claim is dismissed because I don't believe you remember anything. So why would I grant you something if you don't remember? I can never take your word. Judgment for the plaintiff, $4,300.
he wasn't as smart as he thought he was.
Try to be a better Christian.
Plaintiff George Valdez married the defendant after he got her pregnant, but after they divorced, he took custody of all of their children because the defendant was caught using meth. George is suing his ex-wife for an overpayment of child support. Defendant Michelle Valdez says George cheated on her, and after 15 years and 5 children, he confessed that he was never going to stop cheating on her, so they got a divorce. Michelle insists she was unaware of an overpayment of child support.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor, this is my ex-wife, and we were married in a shotgun wedding in '97.
You got her pregnant?
I did, yeah. But we were young. I was trying to do the right thing.
How old were you all?
I think I was about 19.
You say shotgun, that presumes that the father
It
strong arms you. Or
It was the mother.
tell me how that went. I just want to hear that story, and I might give you my story. I don't think I can. Tell me what happened in your situation.
Well, she was really religious, so she's like, you got her pregnant, so you guys need to be married.
Or you going to hell, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. You're going to
Okay,
hell.
I was just
Exactly.
Your
wondering.
Honor, that's not true. We got married. We decided to get married. We stayed married for 15 years. And we were
All right,
in love
but no,
at that
he's
point.
saying he was a shotgun marriage. He said that he had to get married or else.
That's not true.
All right,
It's true.
because you were pregnant with the child, and that,
I was
some
pregnant.
parents are like that.
But it was.
Or at least they encourage it strongly. Folks say, well, I'm going to propose, or it's going to be a year from now. Why a year? I just want to get myself together. You had together? Well, yeah, I got everything together. So why a year? Well, I just figured I'd give it a little time. A little time for what? We've been together a couple years. Now they're expecting. Well, what do you think? You think 2, 3 months or 6 months from now? Is that all right? What do you think? No. So what do you think it should be? Next week? That's how some fathers get. Go ahead,
That's pretty
sir.
much how it was.
Is that what you were told too?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. Yeah,
Your
it was
Honor,
right away.
he was in the military at the time.
They marry in the military.
Right, but he wanted to be there when our son was born, and he chose to marry me so that he would be able to be there for sure.
Okay, you stick with that. All right. That makes you feel better.
I'm going to stick with being forced.
And how did things go with the marriage?
Okay, well, she dabbled in drugs. I knew that what she.
What type of drugs?
Mostly meth.
Oh.
Your Honor, we did meth together.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say.
you-
I was going to say. Your
Well,
Honor.
you wasn't going to say.
Your Honor.
You were finished with that statement.
Your Honor. I know this is going to sound
Leaving
crazy.
yourself
but,
out. What?
this is going to sound crazy, but how I got started on it, because I never did it before. She and her friend were putting it in my water, and by the end of the
That's
night
not
I was
true.
hooked. Yes, it is.
That's not true.
You know it's true.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. No, but that's why I said, Your Honor, that's going to sound crazy. But no, that's how I remember it. But I mean, I did continue to do it till 2010.
Continue to drink it.
No. No, I continued to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, not drink it. No, I continued to use it. But in 2010, I was done. So
Been
and
clean
she
ever
said that
since?
She was going to be done.
Was she?
No, she wasn't. So
When do you believe she stopped?
I don't know now. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All
All right, why'd you all divorce?
We divorced in 2012.
Why?
Because I was done living with the drug addict.
That's not true.
You were off drugs at that time?
Oh yeah, in 2010 I was done. I was
Okay.
done.
And
Your
We were
Honor,
divorced in
14, you.
2000.
All right, let me hear from you, ma'am.
We got divorced because he was cheating on me, and after 15 years and 5 children, he told me that he was never going to stop cheating on me and didn't want to continue making me unhappy in that way. We had smoked meth early.
How'd you feel about that?
Devastated.
Would you have preferred to stay
I
married?
asked if we could go
Work
through
it?
marriage counseling, if there was something that we could do, and he just basically said no. No, I'm never There was nothing.
How old were your children, the range of ages?
I had twins that were 6 months old. I had a 4-year-old. My oldest son was 16 or 17. And my daughter, she was about 7 at the time.
Wow. I'm sure he stays in their life. He was monthly or at least
for the
every
first
few weeks,
year,
couple weeks?
For the first year, there was no kind of parenting plan. We hadn't gone to court yet. And so it was often, he would see them once in a while. After the first year, he started paying child support. We got a parenting plan, and then it was every other weekend. Okay. My family helped me quite a bit because, like I said, for the first year I wasn't getting any financial support whatsoever. They started paying my rent for me.
What about childcare?
Childcare, I had moved out to the coast, and there's in Oregon where there's great programs there that helped with preschool, even though they were younger. And so I was doing a bunch of programs with the kids. It was I had to quit my job because I was basically just taking kids back and forth to get them in their schooling and everything like that. And then, like I said, every other weekend I would drive out and meet him with the children, and he'd have them for every other weekend.
You would drive, you all would meet somewhere in the middle?
We'd meet halfway in between. And so...
All right. Well, I'm not going to pass judgment on whether you should or shouldn't have left, but that's pretty challenging for a woman to raise 4 children under 10 by herself. So,
but I was not on meth. I did smoke marijuana, and up until last year when this whole incident happened, which was a big wake-up call for me. I was smoking THC oil, and I believe that was laced with meth. So I went to the hospital, and they found meth in my system. And they said I had a meth-induced psychiatric break.
That's funny because when we were in court, you said that.
Let's get to the lawsuit. Somebody dropped it in hers, and somebody dropped it, and you drank it. All right. That's why everybody got it dropped in their stuff.
Yeah.
Please move on. And you know, I've seen this and heard this 1,000 times. $878 for child support. How does she owe you for that?
Okay. Well, I was applying for a home loan. And I got to tell you that she was hospitalized for the meth. DHS called me up and they said, the kids are in our custody right now because your ex is in the hospital for, she has meth in her system.
That's not true. The kids were never in DHS custody. They were at my grandparents.
Yes, they were.
Go ahead.
Okay. And then they said, you need to file for emergency custody because they're not going back to her. So you need to file for emergency custody. So I did. I filed for emergency custody, and me and my girlfriend, we even filed for to be foster parents for her. She has 2 other kids by some other guy from a previous relationship. So, we took them in because we didn't want to see them, get put in the system. So they live with us right now.
7 children you're raising by yourself.
That's true.
8.
8?
Yeah, I had the last 3 are from my previous husband, but he's no longer around.
All right. Go ahead.
And
you took the children.
Yeah, once we got certified, I also had the child support modified so that it wasn't taken from my wages anymore.
Because you had the children.
I have them full time. So I did that, and everything was all good. But then I went to apply for a home loan, and my lender, he told me that it shows here that you have $7,000 in back child support. So it just kept accruing for some reason. That's just how the child support system works in Oregon, I guess.
And your modification was that you owed 0 at that time?
Exactly.
Do you have anything today to
I do.
Demonstrate that? Ma'am, let me hear from you. Said he wants a refund on the overpayment of $878 that they took.
So we were still going to court for custody for the other kids, trying to work that out. We both still have joint custody. We changed our parenting plan recently, and it's more 50-50, but he still ends up having to pay me $178 a month for child support.
When did that start?
That just started in April.
Okay. And sir, when were you due the refund?
Well, what I did is I had her go into the child support, and she signed a satisfaction letter to get rid of that $7,000. It was in April. It was the beginning of April.
Okay, and
April
everything
2nd.
was zero at that point.
Yeah, everything except when she went in there and signed it, it was April 2nd. If she would have signed it on the 30th, it would have been zero, but
30th of March.
Accrued, yeah, it accrued another.
April 2nd, so you were paying $878 a month or
$878 a month.
78 a month. The termination that you all signed together occurred 2 days after?
That's right, Your Honor.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that's why they took it.
Yeah, that's why.
Right.
And my lender, he was saying there's still, the $7,000 is gone. It's down. It's gone off your credit report, but there's still $878 on there.
Okay.
He said pay it out of pocket, so I paid it out of pocket.
Ma'am, what did he say to that? He says you
So,
all made a.
We did. I was trying to
termination
help him. He was trying to get his.
Pardon me?
I was trying to help him out, get his home loan, and get everything approved because it was taking a long time to go to the court for it to get to. Because it was still showing that he owed me that $7,000. So I waived that $7,000. No, so the $878, I hadn't looked at my child support card. That's how much I had gotten for child support the whole time I was getting paid. I figured that was still on there because when I stopped having the kids in my care.
8 months?
I-
You didn't know there was $878 in there?
I didn't. I didn't have the card. I didn't even order
For
the card.
7 months, you didn't know you had $878, and you got 8 kids.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, man. I believe you knew what every dime was at all times.
Always.
With 8 children, ma'am. 878 is your judgment. Her only defense is she didn't know she had it in the bank. Have a good day.
So, I mean, if he had let me know that that money was there and going to be there, I wouldn't have spent it and we wouldn't be here today.
No, that's the
That
only
easy.
reason I never said anything about it, because I knew you would.
Plaintiff Ron Thomas says when he first started dating the defendant, everything was great, especially the sex. However, Ron claims due to the defendant's crack addiction, she started disappearing and stealing his money. Ron's suing because he claims the defendant vandalized one of his cars and set his other car on fire. Defendant Sawana Bailey says Ron is obsessed with her because she gave him threesomes, and he's just mad at her because she left him for a woman. Sawana denies damaging Ron's cars, and she's countersuing for property.
Start with you.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I'd like to say first that it is a true privilege to be here in your court with you today. Back in 2001, in Detroit at the Renaissance, I attended the 3rd Black Annual Philanthropy Conference, where you also was a part. I have the booklet here. You have a full-page ad. But one of the greatest things that happened was the keynote speaker was Dr. George Frazier, and afterwards he took my business card. A few months later, this book arrives. I'm flipping through it. This is very nice. It has T.D. Jakes, Bob Johnson, and Oprah Winfrey on the cover, which I was very impressed at. But when I got to page 324, I was really impressed because it's the Michigan group. And my name is in the first column, and I look down and I see your name. I was so honored to
Is that
be
right?
part of that. Yes, sir.
Congratulations to you. I'm proud to hear that you were part of that. Let me see it. See if we can get that book.
And in a
please.
lot of ways, you've motivated me to do several things in my community. As you notice, most of the pins on my chest, they're mom and pop's pins and 20 years of service to my community.
Good.
There's a couple
Where
of
you live?
I live in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am in here. All right.
All right. That's what I said.
I am doing something every now and then. Saw the ad. Now let me see what I'm doing.
Second column, bottom.
All right, second column at the bottom. They put me at the bottom. That mean I'm doing the least?
No, that don't mean you're... Well, not in my eyes, Your Honor.
Congratulations to you, man. I'm so proud to hear that. Yep, we need more men like you to work in the community. Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What'd you do?
Besides being cute.
Doyle say besides being cute.
Well,
Go
there
ahead.
she is.
All right. Well, give me some background on the two of you.
Well, 4 years ago we met, and pretty much for the first year and a half, relationship went great. I mean, really great. Sex was the bomb. just being
That
straight
helps,
up.
doesn't it?
Sure enough did. And we pretty much had a great time, but then after about a year and a half, first the money borrowing. And then when I wouldn't loan her or give her any more money, she stole it. And it's because of her crack cocaine and alcohol addiction. Now, we even went through an intervention where I sat her down and told her, look, You got to get off of this. You got to clear your head. You are a wonderful person. You have children you haven't seen. I've known her for 4 years, and there's only a half a dozen times where I've known she went to see her children. And I'm not sure about those. I'm not sure. I've only seen pictures of 3 of them.
Let me hear from you about these things.
Okay, Your Honor. First of all, we're not here. It's not really about the car or things like that. It's because I left him for my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's really about. And he's suing me. Whatever the burn up car and all that, or whatever he said I did to his car, that is not. That's not the issue. It's because I moved out from him.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't spoken about that, but I was trying to give you a chance to address the fact that he alleged you a crackhead that has had your children taken from you.
That don't have anything to do with our relationship.
All right, good enough.
Yeah,
she said she doesn't want to address the allegation that she's a crackhead with her kids taken.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Well,
somebody do that to me, ma'am. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say no. Go ahead.
I'm going to say no also.
Yeah, go ahead.
To rebut what she said about her girlfriend, I don't care about that. That ain't my thing. I could care less. And then some of her girlfriends I even liked. All right?
You want to be part of that situation, huh, Doctor?
No, Judge. Was part of that situation.
Whoa.
Which works for me, but...
Dog, you got to go up to Flint.
Yeah. The apartment up there.
Go ahead.
After the intervention, she disappears for about a week or two, and she calls me one day saying, Ron, I've been getting high all this time, and I'm here trying to get me some help. Hopefully I'm going to be inducted into a program today. She was actually inducted into a program the next day. And for the first couple of weeks, she's calling me, saying I'm doing good. My hair is finally clear, like you said, Ron. I can think clearly on things, and I feel so good. Okay, most of that was lies. Because a week later, she shows up at my house, and I find out she's been kicked out of rehab, probably for testing dirty or violent conflict, which she's full of. Since November, she's had 12 violent conflicts that I know of.
Ma'am, you want to address these 12 episodes of violence he alleges?
Yes. First of all, I didn't go to rehab because of the crack. I went because of my girlfriend was in there, and me and him got into it, and I didn't have nowhere to go right then because I didn't want to stay at home by myself.
Okay, and what you're telling me is that drug rehabilitation centers now allow people who don't have any place to stay to come there and live.
Yes, and get yourself together.
I'll tell a lot of people who are homeless, if they can go to the drug rehab facilities, even if they walk in there, a little old lady with a Bible, she can still stay in the drug rehab. That's news to me, but all right, go ahead.
And yes, I did have a weed habit, you know, with him, first of all, you know. And yes, and it wasn't, he really was obsessed with me, you know, and that's really what takes the cake. And I gave him threesomes, yes, and he fell out with that. So
you got nerve enough to sue her.
And he see, I done gave him everything he wanted. He done took me out.
I got news for you. I'll dismiss your case. No, just kidding.
He took me, bought me lingerie. I done walked around with him. I do private dances. Yes, I do. I done dance for his brothers and everything. You know, I done made my money on the side. I done cashed him out, all that. Here go my paper stating that I gave him my bridge card as soon as it started coming here.
Can you get back to answering my question?
Yes, I can.
And that is, were you involved in 12 acts of violence?
No, I was not.
Okay. Any acts of violence?
No, I was not.
Okay. Go ahead. Get to the car, sir.
On the 26th of March, me and my witness are at my house. She comes up, jumps out of her father's car before it almost stops, running toward the door, screaming all kinds of, you know, can't say those words here today, and give me my stuff. I said, well, I want my stuff back too. And so I say, you know you owe me money. So her father says, look, how much does she owe you? I said, oh, man.
Her father's with her?
Her father's with her. I said, oh, man, come on in here. Because actually, I was going to give her stuff.
Okay, so what occurred?
She runs up while I'm opening the door for her father and kicks the storm door out of my front door. So her father and her friend get her back to the walkway, and then she grabs a shovel, because, you know, March in Michigan is still snowing, and she grabs a shovel, runs over to my car, and starts kicking the bumper of the car and hits the windshield with the shovel. I go inside, I grab my phone, and I put it on speaker and dial 911. And when they hear 911 operator, her father's like, I'm out of here. So he goes and jumps in the car. Her friend gets the shovel out of her hand. They get in the car, and her father bags up the street so that I can't see his license plate. So when the police come, I tell them, look, I told him, but I just told you, I was finna give her her stuff.
You have a report?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
she destroyed the whole car with a shovel?
No, just the front bumper and the windshield. She set the other car on fire.
Oh my God.
Which my witness can attest to, because she heard I heard her out there saying, I'll burn your such and such up. I'll burn everything you got up.
Come on up, man. State your name.
Jeanette Crum.
Tell me what you heard or saw.
Okay, on the day in question, I was upstairs in his room watching TV, and I did hear a female downstairs saying, give me my MF stuff, give me my MF stuff, and he like, well, give me my MF money. They was going back and forth. Then I heard a boom, so when I looked out the window, I seen her kicking his car, and then I seen them put her in a blue car and drive up the street. But before then, she like, it's not over, I'll burn this down. So then when I came back, probably like a week later, I'm like, oh, she came back and really burnt your car up. Because the car was like totally burnt up.
Ma'am?
That's a lie, Your Honor. He's a fireman, remind you. And it's a car he's talking about I burnt up that's parked across the street that he used to get parts off that car to put on another BMW. I don't have that time. All I wanted was my clothes.
Did you go to the house with your father?
I went to the house, correct, with my father, and I did kick the door.
Okay.
I did not nail time touch his cars. What is I'm gonna touch his cars for? That's not gonna help me get my things.
Okay.
All I wanted was my
things. I don't
things.
believe you. If you will kick a man's door in while he's right there, you'll certainly go out and damage his car while he's not. Your counterclaim for $1793 is for personal property. How does he owe you for that?
Because he has my leather jacket. Here is it go right here.
Let's see your list. Sir, do you have her property?
No, sir.
Yes, he
What
did.
happened to it?
And that's the purpose of me over
ma'am.
there.
What
Sorry.
happened to it?
I called the police that day. They came. He informed me that as long as she had stuff in my house, that she could break in my house and they couldn't arrest her. I called her father to come back and get her property while the police officer was there. Her father came back and collected all her property. Now, as far as the laptop goes,
my father went back and collected some of my property and all of my stuff wasn't there. He gave me stuff just that he wanted me to have so he can keep coming to see my legs and whatever else he wanted to see on me. Yeah. That's really what it's about, because I'm young and he's older and he want me.
I don't
and he
believe
can't
you,
have
ma'am.
me.
I believe your father got all your things out. I believe that you have a propensity for violence, as he said. You tried to kick this man's door in, and therefore I'm going to grant his judgment and dismiss yours. $4,264. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed.
It's over. It's been over anyway.
She ain't the only fish in the sea. Ba 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 ba.
Whatever. You just mad because you want this and you can't have it your old.
Well, I'll take my 4,200 with my old
your funky
self.
breath. I didn't like your breath anyway. That's why I really got a girl for you, because I would
with my
have to
funky
smell it.
breath.
So I wouldn't have to smell it.
And wait a minute, your girl's still coming back?
By the way, you heard what I said.
Oh, that's so nice.
You know what it is.
But if you ever
You
get
know
clean,
what it is. You the most
remember what you stole?
No. That's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. That's what it's about.
Plaintiff Nathan Williams says after dating the defendant for only a few months, he knew he wanted to marry her. Nathan says despite their engagement ending, he still loves the defendant and would marry her today if she would have him. But he's suing her for the cost of the engagement ring. Defendant Margaret Freeney says Nathan is sneaky, conniving, and devious, and he likes to partake in kinky sex. Margaret insists she was never engaged to Nathan, and he simply gave her a ring as a gift. Therefore, she refuses to return it.
All right, give me some background.
Well, Your Honor, I really want to marry the woman right now today. If you would marry us right now on this television show, I would be very happy. But
she has to agree.
Yes.
No. I don't do forced marriages. Go ahead.
Well, I met Margaret in 2007. We hit it off pretty good. Actually, I was introduced to her by her daughter. You know, we came to my house and we hung out. I was just playing pool. I had a pool table. My nephews and all the family would come over and we just hang out. Well, anyway, I told Margaret in 2007 that I wanted to marry her then. It took about...
How long had you all dated?
At that point, I would say maybe 3-4 months. I loved her spirit, and I wanted to marry her. I just found something in her that I liked it.
Okay. Why so quickly?
Well, she's a God person, for one, and I'm a God person also, and that connection there, you know, just talking about God, period.
Didn't work. Go ahead.
Okay, so after 2007, I hadn't seen her for maybe 4 years.
Because she told you no?
No, it wasn't because of that. Well,
Why did you all stop seeing each other for 4 years?
I had told her that I needed to take some time I needed to take some time to get myself together. And I needed at least, if you can come by 3 days a week to check on me. I had some things that I was going through that I needed to take care of.
You had a health problem?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not funny. So 4 years later, you all met back up.
Yeah, I was praying for her the whole time, you know.
Praying for her?
Right, praying for her that I get to catch back up with her.
Gotcha. All right.
I'm deeply in love with her. I still love her right now.
All right, good.
So I was in a Kmart with my sons one afternoon, and I heard my name, Nathan.
She said it like that?
Yeah. Yes.
That sounds like somebody from above.
Yeah.
Was it her or was it?
It was her.
Oh, it was her.
It was
okay.
her.
All right.
So we exchanged. Well, actually, she took my phone number down, and she said I'll give you a call. So I guess about 3 months,
Nathan.
maybe 2 weeks.
Didn't you hear that? Yeah. Did you hear that, Nathan? Now that day, her mouth didn't move, did it? That definitely came from above, that Nathan. Go ahead, though.
It took maybe about 3 weeks, a month before she actually phoned me. But we met up, you know, at like a Kmart parking lot and talked for a little while. And then we went on our separate ways, went back home. And I guess maybe end of December, we started communicating a little bit more. She was asking me to come
How'd
back.
that go?
Well, what happened was I asked Margaret to marry me again. And I asked her to marry me in Kmart.
How long ago?
This was this year, 3 months ago. And she said, yeah, we would get married. We had started making arrangements, but she had some issues with her mother. Her mother had got a little sick and she was concerned, which I understood all of that. So I continued to wait and wait and wait. In the process of all that, she asked for me to go see her minister, which happened to be a sheriff for the Alameda County Sheriff Department. I said, no problem. Set it up. I don't have a problem talking to him, you know, so I never got to be able to talk to him. She never did produce the minister for me to talk to him.
Okay.
She wanted me to talk to a couple of her brothers, so I did talk to them. They wanted to find out.
They threatened you?
No.
Oh.
No. They wanted to find out a little bit about me, who I was.
So let's get to the breakup.
I did all that. Well, here it is. After her birthday, I asked her, I said, well, it sounds like to me you have cold feet, you're not ready to do this. So I asked her, I said, well, why don't you just give me my ring back? You know?
Okay, so it was because of cold feet, you believe. And what month was that?
This was in March.
All right, ma'am.
First of all, let me tell you about this man. This man is sneaky, conniving, and devious, and he likes to do kinky sex. So
he likes kinky sex.
And he's lying about us meeting in 07. My dad passed in 07. I met him in 08.
All right.
We was in Kmart's. He bought me a ring.
What year was this?
That was January.
Of what year?
2013.
Okay.
We happened to be walking around inside Kmart's. He bought me a ring. And basically, he thought that was going to open up the cookie jar and then he was going to have some kinky sex. And so when he found out that I didn't believe in kinky sex, then he stopped being around me, and then he was like, I don't even want to deal with you. I didn't want my ring back. And I was like, he'll give no gift and then decide you want it.
Had you all had relations before?
No, well, we dated in 2008.
He didn't want kinky sex then?
He didn't say nothing about no kinky sex then, no.
Okay, but in 13 he did.
Yeah, he
changed.
Yeah, he changed. But then not only that, well, see, he changed, but what happened is I've never been to his house because he was dating a lady at his house where he lived, and she vandalized his car. So he said he didn't want me coming around there because it's unsafe for me.
Mm-hmm.
So he only been in my house one time. And not only that, Your Honor, I got hit by a car on March 6th. He knows nothing about it. So if we so in love and so engaged and all that.
What is it you want to show me? What is it?
I got hit
What is this?
I got hit by a car. I was walking across the street, and the lady, she hit me on the side, on my hip.
So what's your point about that? You all were not dating.
Right.
Because you were hit and he doesn't even know.
He don't know
it.
nothing about that.
Sir, did you know she was struck by a car?
I knew she had got hit, but not physically.
All right,
hit.
and this is March 6th, maybe?
Her car got hit, but her person, no.
So he dates a couple of women at the same time. He likes to play head games.
Did he ask you to marry him?
No, he said this is a gift. He said it's a gift.
And when was that?
That was in January when we was inside Kmart. Because I seen it.
He asked you immediately? He said, I'm gonna buy. He hadn't seen you in 4 years. Let me understand, because you all are kind of talking in a confusing manner.
Okay.
To say the least.
Okay.
So he sees you in January at Kmart.
No. I seen him in Kmart's the end of September.
You had not seen him for 4 years.
I hadn't seen him since 2008.
All right. And you all began dating in September?
No.
Okay. So you didn't begin dating until January when you saw each other again in Kmart.
That's when we saw, yes.
That's your meeting place.
That's the... Pretty much.
Yes, sir. I must say, sir, that is some kinky sex. If you're asking the woman to get down with you at Kmart.
No. I didn't.
Huh? Well, she said that's the only places y'all met.
We met at Kmart. You know, just meeting up. We've never had any plans to do anything at Kmart. That's just where we happen to meet each other at over the period of years.
I'm going to leave it alone. Y'all do your thing. Everybody got their own thing. Now, the engagement ring, sir, what did she say?
She said she would give it back.
All right, ma'am, let me hear from you about the ring.
At first, I was kind of upset because he was just going through all this old stuff. I said, you can have it. Then I said, you ain't getting no gift back. You know, so I said I wasn't coming outside because he'd never been in my house but one time in the whole time that since I ran into him.
So you say you weren't coming outside?
Yeah, I said, I'm not coming outside.
She said she's in the bed.
Hold on, sir. I told you all, you're kind of talking in a confusing manner. He came to your house and said, can I have my ring back?
No, he was on the phone.
See what I mean by not coming outside? So he's on the phone and he says, can I have my ring back? And you say, I'm not coming outside.
I got it on text.
I'm asking you, is that what happened?
Yeah, I told him I'm not coming outside. It's too late at night.
I mean, he wanted you to bring it to him.
Yeah. He wanted
Sir, did you ask her to bring the ring to you?
I was at her residence when I asked her, yes. I was outside her residence when I called her and asked for the ring
outside of her door?
Right. No, not outside of her door. I was in my truck.
You said outside. Okay, but outside of her residence in your truck.
Yes.
Okay, and you told her to come outside and bring you your ring.
Right.
Okay, now that does sound more likely, ma'am. And you told him no?
Because he was at home. He wasn't outside.
All right, but at one point you said yes?
Yeah, I said yeah.
And then you changed your mind. Why?
Well, because I was actually upset because he was talking about the stuff, and I said, yeah, whatever. And then I said, I ain't giving you nothing back. You know, how you get a gift? How you gonna give somebody a gift and then you gonna turn around and say, okay, well, I want it back now because you don't want to, basically because I didn't want to do the stuff that he wanted me to do.
You can't complete a gift and then say give it back.
But I never said it was a gift, Your Honor. I said it was a wedding ring. We supposed to get married.
Anyone have it today?
Yes, I would love to have it today.
Show it to me. Do you have the ring so I can take a look at it? Did he ever tell you it was an engagement ring?
No. He said it was a gift. We was
She's
shopping
lying right
together.
now.
We
She's
was shopping
lying.
together.
Okay, anyone have any evidence of what type of ring it was?
Well, the receipt says an engagement ring.
Let's see
now.
it. There you go.
Yes.
Now we're talking. Because
It's
that's
two.
different, ma'am. You do have to return a ring if it was an engagement ring and you don't complete the marriage. An engagement ring is a gift contingent upon marriage. Circle where it says engagement.
And if he says he doesn't, if he says I don't want to marry you because you don't want to do what I want to do,
Did he ever propose to you? That never happened. How about when you all first met? 3 months after meeting, did he ask you?
No. He's lying. He never.
Okay.
No, because like he said, he met me in
All right,
07.
he never did.
He
Yes,
lied.
ma'am. You want to speak?
Yes, Your
State your
Honor.
name.
My name is Chloe Wilkinson. I'm her daughter, not the daughter that introduced him. I'm her youngest daughter.
That's why he called me
You
Miss
want
P.
to clarify that? Go ahead.
That's why he called me Miss P.
I want to clarify.
What do you want to tell me?
Yes. What I want to say is that when I did, I've never really heard I've never really heard of them talking about, I heard them talking about an engagement, but I've never really heard of them, we're going to get married and we're going to do this, like.
Who was
he would come
talking
around.
about an engagement?
I would see him a few times when he would come to the house, but he'll never come in,
No. Let's talk about what you heard regarding an engagement. You
Yeah.
said you did hear discussion
Yeah.
of an engagement. Tell me when.
Well, it was about in kind of like April.
Okay, and where were you?
I was outside. We were outside. He
And
was
you
always
heard
outside.
the two of them discuss it?
Yeah, he said it to me. He said it to me.
He said what to you?
He said we gonna be all right. He said I'm gonna marry your mama. That's what he said.
Okay, he told you.
Yes.
All right, so ma'am, your daughter helps his case. Because your daughter says that he discussed marriage not only with you, as he says, he discussed it with her. And this receipt does say engagement ring. Judgment for the plaintiff, $664. Have a good day.
I still love you, Margaret, and I do want to marry you.
Well, Nathan, you know that's not going to happen because how you do everything, the stuff you do, you was talking about what you was talking about.
Plaintiff Carla Seekins dated the defendant for 8 years, but they broke up after the defendant accused Carla of cheating on her with a man. Carla admits that she ended up marrying the man in question, but she and the defendant reconciled years later. However, Carla's suing her former lover today for vandalizing her car. Defendant Shabronda Morgan says Carla has a drinking problem, and she was emotionally abusive throughout their relationship. Shabronda insists she never vandalized Carla's car, and therefore doesn't owe.
Start with you.
Well, first I would like to say I met Shabronda 20 years ago. We hit it off. We were dating for about 8 years or so. The way we ended up stopped dating was one day we went by my sister's house and we was helping her move, and some of the people that came out helped us move. And during the move later on that evening, the guy came down and was trying to come at me. Shabronda came directly into the kitchen. She said, what's going on? Because she thought, whatever. So she made us leave my sister's home. Later on that evening, when we got home, she was very upset with me, feeling I was being disrespectful to her. She later on said, well, while you were doing what you was doing, I've been hanging out with your cousin doing things.
Female cousin?
Yes, a female cousin. Later on that evening, I called my sister and I had talked to her.
How did you respond to that?
I told her to leave.
Okay.
That I didn't want to deal with her no more.
Got it.
This was really pretty much, this was it. Ended up going back over to my sister's house, talked to the guy, ended up getting married to him.
Whoa. All right. Did she marry your cousin? That's not funny.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No.
Not that I know
I'm being
of.
serious. So what happened with them? You kept the man you were talking to. What happened with the woman she was talking and cheating with?
Not for sure.
All right.
I didn't.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Well, first of all, that's not true. I never was interested in her family. Maybe the guy she's married to, he do those type of things, but I don't fool around with family. If I'm with you, I'm with you, and that's the truth. So Carla and I, we met 1999. We were together. We lived together for 6 years. Up until 2005, I mean, she did tell the truth that, yeah, we were hanging out at a party, and this guy that had just got out of prison, they started, I guess, from that night, I guess they must have started being together, whatever.
You noticed something, or you thought you felt something, and so you said something.
Yes.
And ultimately they did get together, and in fact are now married.
Yes.
She said that you heard something and you said, come on, girl, let's leave. And then you told her later that you were with your cousin. Now, let me hear the whole thing. You heard what she said about you. She said she quit you because you ran off with her cousin.
That is not true. That is not true.
What happened? Did you tell her that, like she just said?
Yes.
You
Yes,
said,
I did.
I've been with your cousin.
No, I didn't tell her I was with her cousin.
That's what I'm asking you.
No.
She said you told her that.
No, I did not tell her that, and no, I was not.
Why do you think
with
y'all
her
broke
cousin
up?
like that? I believe that she just wanted to be with a man that bad. Like I said, this guy was out of prison. He's nobody that I would date or even want to be with.
Had she ever
marry or have
expressed
kids
it?
with.
Had she ever expressed or shown that inclination that she wanted to be with a man more so than you?
Yes.
Okay. She said it as well or not?
I showed it by cheating and stuff like that.
Cheating with men?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why are you suing her today? Now that we have that out of the way.
Well, however, it was over with. We was together, me and my husband, over the past 10, 12 years now. A year ago, late December, my mom had passed. When my mom passed, my husband ended up getting incarcerated like a week or two later, right after that, again. So she calls me and she said, I heard your mom passed. Why you didn't call and let me know? Things like that. I'm like, well, yeah, she did. Shabranda came and we started talking back again. I went on a vacation. She picked me up from the airport after the vacation. And she said, sparks hit back off. Like, she, like, looking at you, I'm back intrigued with you.
All right, that's how you felt too?
Yeah, it was a little bit mutual.
Okay.
I was lonely, mom gone, husband gone. So, yeah, I mean, I was happy to have a friend back again.
So you were cheating with women and he was cheating with men. All right. Maybe he was in prison. Sometimes they cheat. Maybe, I don't know if he was or not.
Right.
Some men cheat on their wives while they're in prison.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we were dating for the past like 2 years now. At times, if I didn't do things Shabranda liked, if when we go somewhere, if I didn't talk, I can't talk to certain people, or we're out, I have to be a mute. Like a woman with a show, like only she could talk. She feel like I'm too outgoing, and she don't like that about me.
Well, you shouldn't talk at parties, and she shouldn't talk at family gatherings.
Amen. Well, true. So,
go ahead, because she likes your family, and you like party guys. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it was
you all
on my
began
birthday.
dating again.
We were dating
was
again.
Fine.
Yeah, and at times I would feel like she could be a little abusive, so I kind of started to step back from her a little bit. Wouldn't be around her as much. So came my birthday, May 2nd. It was the day before my birthday. Shabranda had called me that night, that evening, and said she wanted to hang out. I did tell Shabranda I would hang out with her. But later on, I ended up going to a friend's house, and as I was drinking with a few friend of mine's, she texted me, was like, I'm here at your house. You told me you'll be here at 9:30. You're not here. It's now 11. What's going on? I text her back, and I'm like, Shay, please just go home. I have the text of this. I'm like, Shay, please go home. She was like, come on, please come to the house. I'm sleepy. I would like to take a shower. I said, no, I'm not. I'm scared to come home to you. I don't know what you would do. I'm not coming. I never came home. When I got home, finally about 5 o'clock that morning, me and my children, because they were with me at the friend house, we got home so the kids could get ready for school. As soon as we got there, that's when I so happened to see my glass shattered of my passenger side mirror shattered in pieces. I got out, I walked around to the car, then saw my window on the driver's side totally busted out. Opened up the door, glass shattering everywhere. look in the car, paper scrambled everywhere. The
And you
face
think
off.
she did it?
Yes.
All right, let me hear from you, ma'am.
Okay, well, this night, yeah, I did call her. She was supposed to meet me back there. We had hung out earlier that day, and she didn't come back. And she kept telling me, "Oh, I'm coming," or "Just come where I am." It was just a whole bunch of confusion, and that's the thing that I've always dealt with her is just a bunch of confusion. You know, even mentally and with the heart.
She said you were abusive.
She's abusive. Physically, and when it comes to love, you know, it's confusion. You know, one minute you love me, you know, Carla has a drinking problem.
So that's not physically. It's saying
emotionally.
Okay.
What I was
because I never touched it. Right.
Trying to say, emotionally you are, and with the drinking, it causes problems between us because when you're drinking, when she's drinking or she's drunk or something like that, she's in love. She wants to be with me. She wants to move to Florida. She wants to do
when
this.
she's drunk.
When she's drunk. She thinks
That's
we
not
are.
Good.
No, it's not. And that
The only
hurts.
time
just
she
as
tell you
well.
she wants you is when she's drunk.
Yeah.
Can't really rely on that.
No, she's way off balance when it comes to love.
Let's see what she said now. What you say now? You're not drinking today, are you?
No, I'm not.
So tell her what she want to know. You don't want to be
I'm
with
very sober, and I don't want to deal with you because you are physically, you do things to hurt me and on my body wise.
So you all would play these games with each other, and then in this instance, with regard to the car, what happened?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Did she mention it to you before?
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
I wasn't nowhere near her car at that time.
And that you didn't do it.
And I didn't do it.
And that you don't know who did it.
Don't know who did it. I didn't do it.
All right.
An angry person at your home that night. Okay.
Who says I was angry though?
You were on the phone. You were saying things. You were angry.
You say it's because she was angry and that's why you believe she did it. She claims she wasn't, but I think she was as she is today about it. And what do you have in your hand there? You have something in your hand.
Yeah,
that you
I
wanna
do,
give
Your
me,
Honor.
Obviously, is that an estimate?
I do have the
repairs?
estimate.
Let's see
Yes,
the
I do of
estimate.
everything.
Okay.
And I actually have an audio recording too.
Let me hear it.
Yes.
Damage to my car. You think this cool? Why? Why you do this? Hurt people hurt people. I hurt you. When I get some money, I'll pay for it. Alright? So I'm hoping I have a car. I was with you get some money. Yes. Crazy, man.
1250. 8 is your judgment. I have heard and read on transcript her talking about, I did it because you hurt me, hurt people. Have a good day. Judgment
Thank
for
you,
the
Your
plaintiff.
Honor. Thank you. Now I'm happy that the judge saw that Shabronda did what she did. I get to finally get my car fixed and drive my car. Just want to say, Shabronda, you have a good life.
Same for her. Have a good life, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.